Straight ahead on CCX News, could more high school students soon be able to sleep in a little later? We'll look at legislation that would allow just that. Plus, a predicament for a Maple Grove property owner? See what's keeping him from developing his land. And why a famous food critic is now weighing in on a food bank's move to Brooklyn Park. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Early school start times could be a thing of the past.
Minnesota lawmakers are considering a bill that would eliminate early start times. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on this. Delane?
Mike and Alex, this is a move the Wayzata School District made several years ago at the high school level. Tuesday at the state capitol, a Wayzata parent testified about the impact an early start time had for her daughter back when she started class at 7:30 in the morning.
I can tell you she was very difficult to wake up. She tells me she was very sleepy for her classes, especially the early ones in the morning. Just more irritable, trouble coping. It just felt like she was slogging through each day, just kind of in survival mode, waiting for the next break in school when she could get caught up on sleep again.
Beth Albright testified before the Senate Education Policy Committee. She said when Wayzata High School changed their start time to 8:20 back in 2015, her daughter got more sleep and had more energy. The legislation proposed would prevent middle and high schools from starting earlier than 8:30 a.m. and would prevent elementary student bus pickups before 7 a.m. However, critics of the bill say the decision should be up to local school boards.
In Robbinsdale, we have begun to look at the issue and the topic, and I personally, on a higher level, could support early start times, but would prefer to have the ability to engage our own students and families of all ages in the conversation. We need to survey our community and have the necessary conversations to fully understand where our own community stands, and this is a divisive topic.
Tuesday's hearing was simply for informational purposes, and lawmakers said no action would be taken immediately. If the bill is passed, the change would take effect in the 2021 school year. Mike and Alex?
All right, thank you, Delane. An update now on a story we told you about yesterday involving a level 3 sex offender possibly moving into Crystal.
A community notification meeting that was supposed to be held on Thursday about Jesse Splitstasser has been canceled. That's because police say he's no longer moving to Crystal. Level 3s are the most likely to reoffend. None currently live in Crystal.
Brooklyn Park is getting closer to naming a new fire chief. The city has 4 finalists: Elk River Chief T. John Cunningham, Chanhassen Fire Chief Donald Johnson, St. Paul Fire Captain Dennis Jones, and Todd Seitz, who is currently Brooklyn Park's interim chief. You may recall the previous Brooklyn Park Fire Chief Ken Perlman agreed to a separation deal after accusing a council member of micromanaging and creating an unfair work environment.
A small step forward for the Bottineau Light Rail project. BNSF Railroad has agreed to review engineering plans, meaning there's a chance issues that have hung up the project could get resolved. The proposed Bottineau Light Rail route includes 8 miles of right-of-way belonging to BNSF. The light rail proposal would move freight rails to one side to allow enough room for additional tracks. BNSF has objected previously, saying the plans don't meet its safety and growth guidelines. Blue Line extension planners say it is safe and allows for future expansion.
A Maple Grove property owner wants to sell his land for development. The question now is whether the city will let him do it. Dana Christofferson has 3 acres of land that he would like to turn into townhomes. However, he has 2 problems. One, he needs an easement, which would allow a public road and utilities to hook up with his property. Since the construction would encroach on his neighbor's property, the neighbor would have to agree to it, and so far that hasn't happened. And 2, the Maple Grove Arbor Committee is against the project because it would require a stormwater pipe to run through a forest preservation area to the west of his property.
The open space that is there is a natural preserve, and once you start going into that with any kind of pipe, water runoff, storm water, it brings in things that should not be in a preserve.
I'm not going to destroy any trees there. Any damage we do there, we're going to repair. We're going to put more trees up than there were before.
The irony behind the tree situation is Christofferson used to own the forest preservation land. He sold it to Maple Grove in the 1990s, not anticipating he would have problems developing the property all these years later. It's uncertain what the City Council will do. They tabled the matter to a future meeting.
Drugs were a hot topic at North Hennepin Community College on Wednesday. A wide range of speakers shared their personal stories about addiction and substance abuse. One of them was Senator Chris Eaton, who is behind legislation to battle the opioid epidemic. She says she's discouraged by the current state of affairs.
We're not making progress. We're going in the wrong direction. And I believe a lot of that has to do with, for one, stigma. Addiction is a moral failing instead of a disease in many people's eyes.
Eaton lost her daughter, Ariel, to an opioid overdose in 2007.
Senator Paul Anderson of Plymouth and a celebrity chef are trying to help one of the nation's largest food banks move into its new Brooklyn Park headquarters. They want $18 million in state funding to help Second Harvest Heartland with its $50 million purchase of a building on Winnetka Avenue. The CEO for Second Harvest, Rob Zeski, pointed out that despite being in the breadbasket of the nation and the Silicon Valley of food, 600,000 Minnesotans used meal programs, food shelves, and homeless shelters last year. These numbers are very concerning for a famous chef.
Hunger impacts 1 in 10 Minnesotans. 1 in 6 Minnesota children do not have enough food to eat. That is not a shameful statistic. In my estimation, that is a criminal statistic. Hungry children in a state that has the food to feed them. We just don't have the funnel big enough until we fund Second Harvest Heartland.
Today we're going to lay them all over.
With the Brooklyn Park move, Second Harvest Heartland will no longer operate its Golden Valley Service Center.
A Metro-wide food drive ended just over a week ago, and a local nonprofit says it collected more food than ever before. Donations to SEEP in Brooklyn Center added up to 230,000 pounds of food and more than $150,000 in cash. Nonprofits get a match based on those donations from Minnesota FoodShare. The food will carry them into the summer, but there is another need.
We need volunteers. So in order to work through the market every single day and give the people service that they need, community volunteers are needed to stock the shelves, to sort produce, to support people as they're shopping, and to create a really positive shopping experience.
SEEP serves more than 26,000 people per year. Still ahead, a standout student who created her own health and fitness app.
Plus, the Wayzata boys golf team swing for another state title. That's later in sports.
But first, the warm-up is coming. In a few days, we will be talking about 50s and even 60s. We'll be right back. It is an achievement that few high school students accomplish.
And that would be a perfect ACT score, a claim a couple of local students can make. Jada Thompson of Champlin Park High School and Ben Aoki Sherwood of Armstrong recently scored a perfect 36. So how rare of a feat is it? Well, only 1 out of every 1,000 students achieve a perfect score. Congratulations. Now to a standout student who is earning top grades and helping out in the community.
As Sonia Goins introduces us to Maranatha Christian Academy student Kaelyn Dezell.
My topic is why children should be vaccinated. I try and do my homework right after school and get as much done as I can.
Prepared could be Kaelyn Dezell's middle name.
I love working hard, and for the most part I love working ahead, so I always feel like I'm on top of my work.
Math and science are her favorite subjects. She's taking college-level arithmetic.
I like solving the problems and knowing all the steps to the solution, seeing how it all comes together and works out. Here are the juice recipes.
Kaelyn wants a career in the health field. She created a phone app geared towards helping people stay healthy and fit.
The benefits of juicing and making smoothies and how the certain fruits and vegetables affect your health.
The app is not published yet, but Kaelyn's health teacher is impressed by the concept.
So it was really well done. So after I saw that, I was like, she is just an amazing student. She has so much potential. I can't wait to see where she's going to go with all this.
Kaelyn is also athletic. She's been a member of the Mustang varsity volleyball team since 9th grade.
I love the team atmosphere and like we all support each other, and it's just a super fun way to connect with other girls.
Giving back and volunteering is a big part of who Kaelyn is. For several years, she's participated in school mission trips to Mexico.
It was really impactful to see these kids and how much joy they had from it with how little they had. It like taught me a lot to be like happy with the situation I am in now.
Armed with empathy and compassion, Kaelyn hopes to make a difference.
I'd like to change the world by helping other people and like just making an impact on their lives and showing them God's love.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Kaelyn will attend the University of Minnesota College of Biological Sciences. Still ahead, a volunteer opportunity that could help with your fitness.
First, a new turf field and plenty of returning talent has the Hopkins baseball team excited. John Jacobson helps preview the Royals next.
I'm John Jacobson. A lot of young players got experience last season for the Hopkins baseball team, and that's breeding optimism for the 2018 Royals. Here's Jason Malilla with more.
Hopkins moved players around quite a bit last spring in an effort to see how the pieces would fit together. The Royals are hoping the puzzle will be more complete this season.
A lot of these guys aren't stepping on the varsity field for the first time. They're familiar, they get in games and they've been there. And a lot of our guys have, been plug and play, all the way through, where they're playing a lot of different positions. So we feel really good about the team we're putting out there this year.
I think the biggest thing is that we trust each other, and we've obviously played together a few games, and so we know how we play and how we interact with each other, and that's really going to be nice because a lot of teams, especially like conference teams, they flip over every year, and so they sort of have to get baseball going, but then also get their sort of team chemistry going. But we already have the team chemistry part, and so we just need to focus on our fundamentals in our baseball, and then we'll be ready to go.
Hopkins will be deep at pitcher, and that's crucial as the weather forces schedules to be condensed. Chris Chiriboga, Miles Halligan, and Wyatt Nelson will be three of the Royals' top hurlers.
We have a really deep pen of arms this year, and even beyond those three guys, we have a couple different guys that are seniors, and then we have some guys that we think are going to plug in that are underclassmen too. So
I think our cornerstone will definitely be our pitchers. We have more pitching this year than we have any other years I've been on the team. From seniors to juniors and sophomores, we should have a bunch of guys who can contribute and come in any moment of the game and make an impact and get us out of an inning and get our bats back in the lineup.
Hopkins has a new all-turf field this spring, which means the Royals should get outside before a lot of other teams.
Most teams still have snow in their field, and then they have to wait for it to melt and then dry and everything, but we're going to be able to get out there sooner, which means more games for us and more time to sort of get ready before we face those late conference foes. And it's just overall going to be nice to have a field that's new instead of having an old sort of run-down grass field. It's A1, it's prime, so it's going to be good.
Hopkins made an exciting run in last year's section playoffs, ultimately losing in the final. And the Royals will aim to build on that run this season. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
The Royals are hoping to get a game in next Tuesday afternoon when they are scheduled to host Roseville. Local golf teams will have to wait until courses are ready for play before matches can get started. As Jay Wilcox reports, the defending state 3A champion Wayzata boys are raring to go.
There's no way around it. Golf season is going to be pretty short this spring, but the Wayzata guys are trying to prepare as best as they can.
There's definitely things, just out here there's lots of targets that we can hit and focus just on certain things we want to work on, at least for myself. I work on small little things that I can get better at. And obviously it's not the same as being able to see your ball fly, but everyone's working through the same thing, like I said before. So we just got to keep working through it as a team and not complain about it and not have it as an excuse going through the year.
Trying to add some variety and competition to daily practice sessions has been key.
When we go to chip and putt, the kids build a bracket and have matches for the number of up and downs that they get within 9 holes or their overall score within 9 holes. And so we've got that being competitive. The last time we were here at the Dome, a number of the kids that are looking to try to make varsity, they were having a competition on if they could chip it into the bucket. And so you start doing things like that, the practice time inside really goes by quickly.
Wayzata won the state 3A title last season, their 5th championship in the past 9 seasons and 7th overall. The top 4 scorers in the state tournament for the Trojans graduated, but they do return talented senior Tristan Nelko, who tied for 30th at state, and junior Ben Schumacher. Add some promising up-and-comers, and this should be a very good team again.
Obviously lost some guys, but I'm looking to lead the team back to that 10th spot next year, and hopefully we can repeat as champions. That's the goal.
When the course is finally open, look out for Wayzata. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
What's down? Wayzata has 3 invitationals on the schedule before the end of the month, but realistically may not get on the course until May. That's it for sports. We're back with more in a moment.
The most surprising part of this next story is not what these volunteers do, but how many miles they put in doing it.
For Volunteer Recognition Week, reporter Shannon Slatton highlights a dog walker from the Animal Humane Society in Golden Valley.
If you want to start your day off right, start it off by volunteering.
If I come in sometimes I'm like, I'm tired and I'm dragging, I'm like, I'll be happy and tired when I leave, but I'm always happy.
Sam Rush volunteers as a dog walker at the Animal Humane Society for about 3 hours every other week.
Just enjoy working with dogs. I lost my dog probably about a year before I started here, and I wanted to spend some time with dogs, and so I applied here.
Sometimes he just takes the dogs out to a fenced-in area to play. Other times it's going for a walk where he can really rack up the steps.
I carry my phone with me sometimes and all the time, and it tells me sometimes I'll walk up to 6 miles.
Sam is awesome. I see him every other week here. He's out with the dogs. Just the way that he interacts with the dogs, you can really see that there's love there.
There are a variety of volunteer opportunities at the Animal Humane Society. Volunteers must be at least 16, go through training, and donate at least 6 hours a month.
You don't need to come here having this wealth of knowledge about dog behavior, cat behavior, critter behavior. We're able to help you get there and kind of learn throughout your role.
Sam Rush can put some of that training to use with the new dog he adopted from here. But Sam still comes back, knowing the time he gives is good for the dogs and good for him.
Just a lot of fun to come here and volunteer. It's definitely, if people are interested in volunteering, I definitely encourage them to do so. It's very rewarding.
In Golden Valley, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
And that'll keep you in shape. There are volunteer opportunities at all 4 Animal Humane Society locations, including the one there in Golden Valley. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Thursday, starting at 4 o'clock.